I have an organization called Tate Pledge, which you can see. Go to CobraTate.com and click at Tate Pledge, and you will see that I dedicate $25 million a year. Tate Pledge is funded 100% by me. This is my personal money.
Andrew Tate's been bragging about his massive donations to charity. We've looked into it, and as with Tate, there's more to it than meets the eye.
Or in this case, less. 3 big Muslim charities from the UK have said they've never received a penny from Andrew or Tristan Tate directly.
And while looking into the charities, I spoke to Andrew Tate's best mate about his charitable donations, and this is what he had to say.
I don't know if they'll want to speak to you, brother, because you're questioning their faith, and that's a pretty disgusting thing to do if we're going to be completely honest with each other as men.
So that got heated.
Yeah, in a big way. I mean, Tate's converted to Islam in October of last year. A lot of people don't know that. Since then, he's been donating to these Muslim charities, and people are asking the question of, is he trying to clean his reputation by doing
Like smooth out his public image.
Yeah, exactly.
So you go on Tate's website and there's a page, Tate Pledge, where he is bragging about giving out $25 million or promising to give out $25 million to charities. But what did the charities say when we spoke to him?
Well, all the charities said that they've never received a donation directly from the Tate brothers. So what's happened there is a third party has made the donation and then dedicated them to the Tates.
They've got the charity logo on those banners. There's kids picking up food and being given aid. It makes the Tate brothers look
really good. Yeah, it's a promotional video in many regards, and that's why 2 of the charities have said that they want it to be removed, because what these videos were made for was just to prove that they've done the charity work. They weren't made for...
And that it was dedicated to the name that they were given to dedicate it.
Exactly.
But they didn't realise that the people that they were taking the money from eventually somehow were
related to Andrew and Tristan Tate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One of the biggest charities involved told us Muslim Hands is extremely concerned that a number of pictures and videos we provided privately to an individual donor to verify the delivery of aid projects by our staff have been used without our authorization on a website promoting the charitable endeavors of Andrew and Tristan Tate. They also requested for it to be removed. They also said they were concerned it would damage their reputation that this content was up there, right?
Yeah, and Human Appeal, the other big charity, did likewise. They've also asked for their content to be removed from the website. There's another charity, Muslim Global Relief, which gave us kind of quite a different statement. It was a bit unclear in parts. Muslim Global Relief basically said that they hadn't received money directly from the Tates, but they weren't clear about whether they would or wouldn't.
Yeah.
Whereas the other 2 charities were kind of clear that they would never receive money directly from the Tates.
And Muslim Global Relief rightly pointed out the allegations against Andrew Tate are allegations at the moment.
Muslim Hands actually mentioned that the money they've received was a modest donation, which seems to reference the fact that Tate claims he's given 25 million.
He's talking in millions, and it's probably not
that much. Yeah.
Which reflects a lot of looking into his money. Maybe he's not worth anywhere near the trillions that he's claimed in public.
And you also found, when you were looking into the finances, that he'd moved some of his business interests to Dubai. This place keeps cropping up.
Yeah, so Tristan, his brother, took one of the businesses they set up together in Romania, converted it into a business under the name of the mother of his daughter, and that business is in Dubai.
Right, so Dubai, the place where Tate converted in October, where his private members club, the War Room, meets on a regular basis, where Shooter called us from when we had that
Two of your interviews, right,
Yeah.
were in Dubai in the same location, which we weren't expecting.
In fact, I want to bring up this discussion with Shooter because, as you said earlier, it got heated. And when we asked him about the charity endeavours of the Tates and asked for some evidence, this is how the conversation went down. Tate's charity giving has been part of his kind of philanthropy prior to the last 4 months and the arrest.
Definitely, without question. Yeah.
Where's the evidence of that? Because I couldn't find any videos prior to April 15th.
That's because it was largely private. But if you dig a little deeper, you'll see he supported the church in Romania. Now, just because they haven't gone loud with that doesn't mean that it's not there. I've seen it, it's real.
Would it be possible to get a hold of some, paperwork, information just to stand that up?
I don't know if they'll want to speak to you, brother, because you're questioning their faith, and that's a pretty disgusting thing to do if we're going to be completely honest with each other as men.
So he even raises that in another podcast like days later.
Yeah, with Hijab, who was another contributor in our documentary about Tate's conversion to Islam.
Looking forward to the documentary questioning Andrew's faith. And they had a bunch of leading questions. So journalists, my goodness, absolute scum filth.
On the back of the journalism that you've done, we asked Shooter based on the business interest being in Dubai, whether that could have figured in Tate's conversion.
And
You said this.
What has the decision to set up businesses in Dubai got to do with Islam? It's very clear that Dubai is one of the most business-friendly cities in the world. I think that's I don't see any logic in that line of reasoning at all. When I meet with big businessmen who are Muslim, I don't talk about Islam, I talk about business. When I meet with scholars and practicing Muslims, as I do pretty much every night, I talk about Islam.
And then there's a twist, right? Because we managed to get hold of a whistleblower who was part of Tate's inner circle, this thing called the War Room, right? And he worked for Tate.
Yeah, he worked for Tate as well. And when I was speaking to Eli, he brought up the conversion to Islam, unprompted, as part of an explanation of Tate's change in marketing styles following the arrest, which speaks to this concern, right, about reputation washing. This is what Eli had to say.
We'd also introduced some other aspects that were slightly more wholesome, such as him with his brother's daughter, right? Him helping the charity, him becoming Muslim, which again, wasn't real. He's not actually Muslim. He's Muslim just because he's in Dubai, because he wants to be friends with all the sheikhs and stuff. All of a sudden he started doing business with sheikhs, all of a sudden he's Muslim. It's not real.
Eli did identify that what Tate believes about the family and masculinity and relationships, he thinks also aligns with some conservative beliefs within Islam.
Oh yeah, and we also had a look at some of his activity in Dubai before the arrest. And there was an event that was being promoted as the big War Room, Andrew Tate.
Yeah, so it was a public event hosted by Tam Khan, who's Tate's friend. It's the guy you see in the conversion video.
He's a fighter, right?
He used to be an MMA fighter, now he runs gyms in Dubai. Tam Khan said this about the event.
As people know, I brought Andrew Tate into the UAE a few months back to do a talk. It wasn't cancelled as per se.
But we were told by a source in Dubai that the Dubai police cancelled the event because of Tate's controversial online profile. They didn't want him to be associated with the city. But it's also worth mentioning that that very same week, Tate was hosted at a private event with some of Dubai's elite, and the source told us as well that his conversion is likely to have led to positive relationships with that community.
So we've looked at his money, we've looked at his conversion, and we've looked at these charitable donations. Like, there's always something that isn't what it seems with him, right? So what's next?
Well, I think Tate's reputation really hinges on what goes down in the criminal investigation in Romania.
So we've got new details and some new documents that I've got hold of, and that's our next step.